James from Urban Bass Layers out here doing some epoxy work today on some baits. Get a couple people on here. Ain't nobody up yet. Maybe you are and I'm just not seeing it on there. Gotta remember to, I've only gone live twice now and gotta get better at it. I want to start taking my camera out with my phone because I have two phones. I use this one to film on, and I have my actual phone. I can use that one as a hotspot, and I can film live for you guys now that I figured out how to go live. I don't know why I haven't done it before, but so we'll be showing you some stuff with the epoxy, some tricks with the epoxy today. Got this stuff sitting in some hot water. It's the old Bob Smith 2-ton epoxy. It's a slow cure, 30-minute thing with this stuff. You don't want to mix a whole bunch of it. You want to mix just enough to use. And I'll show you a little bit of the difference between a bait that is epoxy coated and not epoxy coated. So this guy is not coated yet. This guy is. Oops. Still a little wet. Looks like glass. I've had people say that some of these baits look like hand-blown glass, which is funny. Bob Smith 2-ton epoxy, if you use it right, works really well. Works really well. So what we're going to do today, show you some little tricks. So when you pour your lead in your baits, I take a little bit of sawdust, mix it with the epoxy. And what that does is it makes the epoxy a little bit thicker. And when you go to put it in your holes and smooth out your holes, it works really well. It doesn't sink down in there as much as if you would just use the epoxy. So use a little bit of sawdust for your lead holes. Now the trick with this stuff is I coat all my baits with the BSI. I use cedar and I use pine, and this wood's pretty good. It's sealed already pretty well, but when you put that Bob Smith 2-ton epoxy on it for the base coat, look, see there? Bait here that's already done up with it on it. It gives you a great base coat for when you go to paint. It's all nice and smooth. So I take my blanks when they're just wood and I go and I put that Bob Smith all over these. Use my hand and my finger to smooth it all out. You can use a glove and smooth out all of the epoxy. Use these plastic bristled brushes to do it. They only got real small ones, so I clip them off and I tape them together so I got a bigger working area. I'm putting the epoxy on the actual baits. So when I do it with this, I just use the old gloves and smooth it on, let it sit, and it cures like, it's pretty much self-leveling, the Bob Smith Industries. So it's only like 10 bucks to 14 bucks shipped for a bottle of that stuff, and or 2 bottles of it for both of them. Anyways, I got them sitting in some hot water. It's a little bit cold outside right now. Got these guys sitting in hot water, and get them in the hot water, and it makes it so it's not so sticky, I guess say. It wants to stick in the bottle when it's cold. You warm it up a little bit and it's a little more viscous. So I take these little pieces. You can use whatever. I used to use little beer can lids, little plastic things. You can use pieces of plastic. You can use whatever. I just use these little cardboard things. I reuse them. You can see the epoxy on there. I just wipe them off and it gives me another flat surface, and I just keep reusing these things and wipe them off. And so I would do the coats here on the baits. So I'm going to coat this bait up real quick for you guys, show you how we do this. Get some stuff out of the way. knocking things over. The old Bob Smith, the tips were really hard to get cut perfect, and they changed the tips on this stuff. So I don't weigh mine out. I never have. A lot of people weigh theirs out. Do have a scale. I don't use it. I don't need it. It wastes too much time, I think, sitting there trying to weigh this stuff out every single time. There are lines on there. You just got to get good at pouring it, hand pouring it. So when I do it, get these things like this, let those bubbles get way up, let the bubbles come all the way out. When you put it in the hot water, it lets those bubbles get out way faster. So the bubbles coming out. Tons of banging together. And, get this in the camera better. Just, you got to kind of watch visually, and you're just doing like a 3 or 4 count. 1, 2, 3. You try to get those piles exactly the same size. I've been doing this for a long time, so I got really good at getting it perfect. And I take the end of the pieces that I cut off, and I use these to mix because these are bendy. You just take that stuff and mix it up. You will get a little bit of bubbles in it, but the bubbles will all go away as the stuff cures. It's a chemical reaction cure with this stuff, and when it does the chemical reaction, it does heat it up just slightly, and it kind of just pushes the bubbles out. I have done other types of clear coats, like the KBS and stuff, and I just don't have my bait room set up properly to use this. Not knocking on that stuff. A lot of people do use it. I would love to go back to using it in the future and being able to just spray my baits with it, but for now, this is what we're doing. And yeah, so just mix this up. Kind of like to pile it up. And yeah, every bait is hand done like this. So when you see my baits and they're finished, it's a lot of work, man, a lot of steps, a lot of in-betweens. So then what I'll do is, instead of just starting out with the brush, I'll use this because it seems to coat the bait a lot better. Move this right for you guys. And I'll use my little pliers to turn it because I don't have it plugged in right now. I'll take this guy in the house when it's drying and put it in the room in there. Put it by the heater and a little bit warmer in the house. Lets this stuff cure perfectly. So I got the heater going in the house, so it will be warm when I take it in there. Like I say, you don't need to worry too much about getting it perfect. Looks like I didn't mix up enough, and I might need to mix up just a little bit more. Push it on down, it'll slide pretty easy. I'll hit it with this and I'll come back and I'll even it all out with the brush once it's all on there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mix up a little bit more. Oops, always getting hairs on there. Alright, I didn't mix up enough. Let's mix up a little bit more. Doing this live is not the same as doing it without live, because I'm kind of in a rush here. I should just slow down and take my time. Same thing, just mix this on up. You can put it on last wet stuff because it's not cured yet and it won't inhibit anything. Just mix that stuff up. You gotta remember, for these bigger baits, they take a little bit more epoxy. I was doing the minis, they take a little bit less. It's funny, when I first started using this stuff and I was painting the old Chinese knockoff blanks and stuff, just mixing this stuff up one time and putting it on one bait was like such a chore for me. It was like, oh man, it's such a pain in the butt. Then once I got it down, got used to doing it, got better at it. It's not that hard. You learn little tricks with the stuff. Learn how much you can mix. You got to learn how long you got to play with it. You want to get the 30-minute slow cure. It gives you just enough time to do sections of baits like this. If you mix up too much, it's gonna get all hard, and you won't be able to properly apply it. I like to put this stuff on really thick, and yeah. Let's get that out of there. Get up in this tail section. Like I said, I'm just getting it on there now. Then I'll come back and I will smooth it all out. Just want to goop it on there nice and thick. Make sure you get your sides, your backs, all the good stuff. Front, back, side to side. Alright, one at a time. Now I come back with the brush, and I always go one direction with it, front to back. When you get too much on that, you just wipe it off. Got one side done, it looks pretty good. Go to the top or the bottom or whatever you feel like doing. One at a time. Now, like I was saying, if I could go to like a KBS, like a lot of the painters do, and be able to spray it. At the moment, I just don't have the ability to do it in this bait room. So in the future, if I can get a better bait room and a better shop, I'll be able to make a lot more stuff, because I'll have more power and the ability to do a lot more stuff. Kind of limited. Started out in this bait room on a TV tray, and I slowly built some benches and work areas in here. I've slowly been building this thing. Had a lot of setbacks, but you got to keep going, man. You can't quit in life. You got to just keep going, keep doing the thing, do what makes you happy. Painting is my favorite thing. Working with wood, second favorite thing. So putting these together, like I say, as a kid, I hated fishing. All my friends fished, and I would go with them. So I learned a lot from my buddies because they were really good. And you know, I got a little bit older, went through a divorce, and found fishing, man. And it pretty much saved me, man. The last year, I think I've drank maybe 4 days out of the last year. So I don't even drink anymore. Focusing on fishing, focusing on my family. Got a granddaughter now, so can't be out messing around and doing stupid stuff anymore. It's time to batten down hatches and get it done. Anyways, got that guy about right there. Trying to get this thing in some light for you to see better. And I'll take this guy in the house and I'll go spin it. You like the name of my Turner? This one's Tina Turner. I always write some stupid stuff on my things. I got a couple of other Turners. And, where's that guy at? Yeah, where'd it go? Right in front of my face. Another one. This guy over here, this is my Travolta. Why? Because he's the disco ball spinners. You go online and you can grab these disco ball spinners for pretty cheap. They're like $10 to $20. And I just made a really janky little jig, a couple little jigs for them, and I'm able to just move them around. I can clear coat them out here and take them in the house, and let them heat set. Now my bait room out here, this is a side room on a trailer, unfortunately, and there's no insulation. So in the next year, I'm going to be building walls inside of here and making this thing better and getting the power, everything out here. My power is messed up. I got to run cords out here right now. The power is out at the breaker, so I got to get a certified electrician to fix it, and then we can move on with that. Anyways, clear coat, boom. That's how those go. Got all the heads for them right here, detailed out. And then I got some eyeballs that I'm painting. I'm in the middle of painting eyes for them. Sometimes I'll use the glass eyes. Sometimes I'll use these little half beads that you get like at Michael's or whatever. Get a big old bag of them for cheap. Where's the bag? Small ones. Oops. Dumped a bunch out on accident. But anyways, you get the idea. These little half things. I'm dumping them everywhere. Pick those up in a second. Anyways, got a whole bunch of these to do. I got a couple turners that I can sit here and mess around with. So what I'll do is I'll take this guy in the house, throw it on the power and get it turning, which will keep that epoxy even and keep the temperature up. And then I will jump to the next baits and keep going along here. Bob Smith, 2-ton epoxy, dumping stuff everywhere. Anyways, easy, cheap little turners to make, man. And I had a whole setup in here. It was all bolted down to the. I've changed this bait room so many times. It was bolted up over here on the side, and yeah, no bueno. I couldn't take the stuff off and move it around. So, anyways, I got so much stuff in here. So many baits. Big baits, little baits, tester baits, monster baits. What else? This old rat right here that I got. I have a bunch of those blocks knocked out for the big rats. So I'll be having a bunch of those big rats. That was the first bait that I ever made, man. It's this guy. Pretty crazy. All kinds of baits. Nose downs for the beds. Those guys got all the weight in the nose. I was crushing fish on those things last year, man. You know, tech decks. You see how I build them, man, one at a time. So every one of these baits has to go through this process. Pretty crazy. Anyways, they're bass layers. Yeah, getting it going. Had some hiccups here, and gonna get going again on this stuff. Urban Bass Layers. Thank you guys for watching. Crazy paint jobs. Everybody's doing the pink lemonade. I think it's kind of funny because where'd it go? Oh, this is one. Everybody's doing the pink lemonade. I painted this one a long time ago, and I called it the electric lemonade. I painted this bait about 10 years ago, and now everybody's doing the pink lemonades. Thought that was pretty funny. Anyways, not saying I came up with it, just saying I was doing a lot longer before everybody else was. Be amazed at how much influence I've had in the bait making thing without people ever giving me any attaboys. It's kind of wild like that. People will take your idea, act like your buddy, and then they'll just run off and freaking, yeah, you got to in this business, man. Everybody's for themselves. That's the only problem with bait making. It's hard to find people that want to collaborate without trying to rip you off. So, unfortunately, that's the truth of it all. But it's pretty cool when you go into a place and you see a bait that you helped design, and you see it sitting on a shelf, and you're like, oh, cool. Not even one iota of anything towards me. Or whatever. Yeah, maybe I'm bitter. But I'll just keep going. Making my handmade wood baits. Probably move to resin one day, but probably not. I want to keep it the old school way. So then with this old resin, I take this old resin that's just about done. Just hit these holes here. Guess I could mix some sawdust in there. And that's about that. Gotta get out and go fishing soon, man. It is winter time, but don't mean the fish aren't eating. Caught some of my biggest fish in California right after big rains. My first 7-pounder came after eight days straight of rain. Went to Folsom, went wading out in this pond, and caught my biggest fish at that time in the middle of winter. And it was in like 2 feet of water. Crazy. Anyways, Herm Basslayers, I'm mumbling. I'm gonna get some more baits made. Probably boring you guys. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Get out there, go fishing.